Hello! Welcome back to another LEGO building video. We are here with part 2 of our Pillar of Autumn build. We're just continuing right where we left off. Pretty sure it's right where we left off. And just this, working on the engine section. So I actually already recorded this once. And I exited out of the program, not realizing I hadn't saved it, so I'm recording again, but it's only really relevant because I forgot to check. I couldn't remember if I had filmed me making the engines or not, and I actually forgot to check to see whether or not that was the case before I started filming this a second time. So, I honestly don't really remember if I filmed the engine part or not. I'm pretty sure I didn't. So I guess not really right back where we left off, if that's the case, but, more or less. But basically with the engines, I built them kind of to be 5 studs wide in the middle section, as you can see right there, and then 4 studs wide otherwise, and kind of tapered it back to 4 studs wide at the end, trying to simulate how the engines have like flaps that go in to control the thrust. But anyway, that's where we are. We're doing the armor plating on the side mostly. Well, I guess we haven't gotten to armor plating yet. We're doing the whole section, and we're doing the cutout. I keep saying hole, and that has 2 different meanings throughout this build. So I'm going to say cutout instead of hole, so I can use hole for like the actual ship itself. So yeah, we're just put the cutout in there of the main hull section, and then we're going to put the armor plating on top of that. And yeah, I really like, and we have, the engine kind of shows through with the cutout there too, which is really cool, as you can see. But I will say, as much as I hated building it, and as much as it gave me anxiety, I do really like how many layers this ship has. And I think they did a really great job with the redesign when they did it. It is it's very anxiety-inducing to build, but it ends up looking really good, I think, and it definitely, what's the word? It definitely benefits from having the layered look and everything. I think it looks really nice. And you'll see right here, we'll end up redoing the, I think we leave the outer armor plating the same, but we redo the cutout on the inner hull. Because if you look at it, it's hard to tell from like these angles, but if you look at it directly from the side, you can't actually see the cutout, in the sense that it kind of like all covers itself up, because it's like, if you look at it from a 90-degree angle, you'll see the cutout and everything, but from the side, from the actual side of the ship, you don't really see it, which it was a problem. And I think, I'm trying to fix it here or something. But yeah, we'll get into that. So I ended up just moving the bottom, or the cutout in the whole section, I believe it was up 1, and then that from the side of the ship you can see right through, and it looks so much better. But yeah, there's stuff like that you don't really think about until you look at it and you realize it's a problem. Here, we'll redo it right now. And luckily I'm able to do it without it being too fragile, which is why I didn't do it to the armor plating section, because there's no way I could have moved that cutout without it being way too fragile to actually like hold itself up. But luckily here, I basically just move it all up 1, and then I don't put a border around the top, and it solves that issue. It's actually a bit more stable than it was. So yeah, and we're just getting into more of the engines right here. I think the ship has the 2 main ones, has 4, so 2 on either side for like slightly smaller ones, so that's 6 in total. But then it has a bunch of like really small engines, It has 2 in the middle. Is it 1 on either side? Yeah, 1 on either side, and then it has 4 more out towards the bottom. So that's, oh, I lost track. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. I think that's 14 engines in total. Not that it really matters, but yeah. So we're just putting all of those in. The engine section, this entire ship is just so layered. It's like the engine section here has like an outer framework to it, but then it has a bunch of cutouts in that, which reveal basically just blank wall, but it definitely contributes to the overall look of the ship really nicely. It's just, again, a pain to figure out how to do sometimes. So yeah, we're just building up that section to give it some more structure before we move on. And I do end up reworking how I attach those like middle super small engines. Just one, to cover up the gap, and 2, to actually like have them be stably connected to something. And yeah, I'm just trying. I try a couple times to fill in this gap. I believe it's a couple times. I'm pretty sure. But just using like plates and tiles and everything on the sides just to fill up those tiny cracks. And just it wasn't really working in a way that would let me connect it in a stable sense to the rest of in a stable way to the rest of the build. So I'm pretty sure I just use those macaroni pieces so I can connect the engines to each other and make those stable, and then we'll just basically build everything off of the bottom anti-studs of that, which works so much better than what I'm trying to do here. And it's actually, I think we end up with way less gaps as well, which is always nice. And I like, especially with these macaroni pieces right here, because of the way that everything is going, it lets you completely hide all of this structure, which is super nice too. I always love being able to hide stuff like this, all the framework and everything. And I end up, actually didn't at first, but oh wow, I'm completely blanking right now, I'm so sorry. But I ended up going in off camera and just tidying up the interior, making that much more stable. Just everything that you don't see from the outside. And I didn't do it at first because I was honestly kind of being lazy. And I guess it's good that I re-recorded this audio, because now I can correct that. But I just realized, actually, that I will be able to go to BritCon this year. So one of my friends has been trying to get me to go for a while. Actually, a couple people have been trying to get me to go for a while, and I just haven't been able to. And I haven't seen much reason if there's like nothing I can display. I haven't been in the position to build anything physically yet, but BritCon is in October, which is probably like, I think it's like 2 months away right now. So that means I have just enough time with how everything is working with my personal life as well to get everything together, build a couple models, and just have something to display there, which will be super fun. It's the first time I've ever even gone to a convention, so that will be so great. But anyway, so this is one of the models that I plan on building a physical version of. So that's why I went back through and actually ended up fixing up the interior, because I was trying to get a good idea of what the cost will be to order pieces and everything. So yeah, so that's going to be really fun. I'm excited. I'm building this one, I think a couple frigates to go with it, the Samus's gunship, and a Ridley, which I don't think I've shown off specifically on YouTube yet, and I want to do one more. I just don't know what to build, or like what else would go with everything that would complement them and add some variety while also not being super huge and a pain to get parts for and everything, because I will be working kind of on a tight time budget. So yeah, I'll There's going to be one more. I'll figure it out later. It's probably something I haven't even built yet, honestly, because I do have just a little bit of time before I have to order the pieces. So anyway, back to the build. We basically just mirrored the hole in the outer plating we had built up top, so that we can attach it not only to the bottom here, but then we can flip it all over super easily to the other side and don't have to go through the whole painful mirroring process again, which is always something I love to avoid. And yeah, so we're just adding in the structure on the bottom there, getting that all squared away. Yeah, so we can just copy this over super easy, which is super nice. Yeah. And right now the engines, I don't attach the engines in, I mean I attach them, but not like really attach them in a way that's at all stable, until after I adjusted everything off camera. So the framework is there and everything, they're in the right place, I just haven't gone through the effort of actually putting them on, in a stable manner, at least. But I really like, it's just kind of satisfying how they're supposed to attach, and how they do end up attaching. I think it's really nice, which you can see a little bit of, probably more if you were to download the LDD file. But yeah, we are coloring it now. It's basically just gray. I'm using black for accents and for the darker areas on the ship in the reference material. Yeah, black's basically just used as an accent color. I end up changing the colors a little bit when I figure out what parts exist in certain colors and everything. But then it's pretty close to what I wanted. I use a little bit of white, basically in that one spot, and then I'll use it again to kind of represent the Pillar of Autumn's name that's written on the side of the hull with the little red accenting. Yeah, but other than that, it's just black. It's pretty simple. But there's the final render. You can see the red I was talking about. I think it looks really nice. I love this angle of it. And you see back engines right there, how they're all lit up. And see how that all comes together and looks all layered and everything. And we just have the orthographic view, which I think lets the real details of the build shine through the best. But anyway, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to more builds. Feel free to like and subscribe and have an amazing day.